News coming in, getting in visuals, in fact, from Gilgit-Baltistan's Skardu, where the Shia community is staging a protest against the government of Pakistan. Now, this comes after the Pakistan government registered an FIR against Shia cleric Syed Bakir al-Hussaini, who has been accused of insulting the Prophet. And you can see those visuals. It's a huge gathering there in Gilgit-Baltistan's Skardu. It's at a very grand level. You can see that protest happening, and you can see the Shia leader also addressing the people who have gathered there. That Shia leader, you can see their very animated actions you can see right now. And this is a protest. You can see that drone video. It's, of course, the huge number of people who have turned out against the government of Pakistan in Gilgit-Baltistan, protesting against the ruling dispensation. That is the latest we have, viewers, on your screens right now. Coming in from Gilgit-Baltistan, this is a protest in Skardu. Shia community members are holding this this protest against the government of Pakistan. So there you have those visuals, latest coming in from Gilgit-Baltistan's Skardu. And this is a huge protest against the government of Pakistan. The Shia community is protesting against Pakistan government. And you can see, the country has been plagued with enormous protests for some past few months. And we've seen protests in POK, we've seen protests in Gilgit-Baltistan as well. And now we have, of course, Shia community in Gilgit-Baltistan also holding protests. Senior editor Shawan Sen is joining us live on the broadcast for more. Shawan, tell us more details about this. This is a huge gathering. Like, people have turned up in thousands, it seems, as far as this video is concerned, protesting against the Pakistani government.
Well, in fact, Rakshita, we have got exclusive visuals of what's really happening as we speak right now. Let me just try and explain this to our viewers. Where are these visuals coming from? What exactly is happening in the ground? In fact, this is, as we speak, is a protest that is basically taking place in Gilgit-Baltistan. To be precise, it is in Skardu district of Gilgit-Baltistan where these protests are actually taking place. This is because an FIR was actually registered against a Shia cleric, who happens to be one of the tallest Shia cleric or leader within the community in Skardu area. In fact, it turns out that an FIR has been registered by the government of Pakistan, because of which a shutter down call was made by the community. In fact, the community has threatened the government of Pakistan to withdraw the FIR. This FIR has been registered under the blasphemy law to begin with. The allegation that has been leveled against the Shia cleric is of insulting and the fact that it is a violation of the blasphemy laws, because of which the protests are now taking place. Now, let me put this into perspective. This is not the only place where these protests are taking place. In Gilgit-Baltistan, we are now being given to understand at least in 4 sub-districts is where these protests are actually taking place. Importantly, this is once again a situation where the minority, the Shia happen to be the minorities in Pakistan, who are certainly raising their voice against the atrocities that have been meted out against them. Secondly, this is not the first time that we are looking at this kind of an uprising within Gilgit-Baltistan. Just about a couple of months ago, in the month of January itself, end of December and January, when there was large-scale protest that actually was taking place, this was against certain laws that were introduced by the Pakistani government. That was in terms of taxation that was imposed. And people were up in arms. This is once again a reflection of what's really happening on the ground and a call against the Pakistani army. As we speak, my sources within Pakistan-occupied Kashmir in Gilgit-Baltistan specifically indicating, with some of them whom I've spoken to a short while back to get a sense of what's really happening, it turns out that the Pakistani army has basically increased their deployment on the ground. Previously too, there was an internet clampdown that actually took place. As of now, there isn't any clampdown as far as the internet is concerned. But once again, a reflection of what's really happening on the ground right now, Rakshita. The very fact that Pakistani army and the Pakistani government is completely losing control of what's really happening inside. Now, importantly, they have been trying to muzzle their voices. The very fact that back in January, you've had people in Gilgit-Baltistan saying that open up the borders. They want to perhaps merge with India. And more importantly, go back to their own family members across, because they said that these were laws that were being introduced by the government of Pakistan in an illegal manner. Something that India has always said that, remember, this is part of India, and the very fact that this has been illegally occupied by Pakistan. And when the very voices in Gilgit-Baltistan are now speaking against the government of Pakistan, it becomes abundantly clear of what's really happening, the way Pakistani army has essentially tried to muzzle the voice of the people of Gilgit-Baltistan.
Right. How does this really, in fact, all right, we're getting in some more reactions on this. Major General Sanjay Soi is joining us on the broadcast for more. Major General Soi, this is, this has been happening, as Shravan was really pointing out, that this is not the first time we've seen protests breaking out in Gilgit-Baltistan. And now there's again a large-scale protest that we are witnessing, demonstrations against the Pakistani dispensation in the Gilgit-Baltistan region. How do you react to this? How do you see this?
Like I fully endorse the views of my previous speaker, in fact, previous expert. I would say that Pakistan has always treated Gilgit-Baltistan as a stepmotherly treatment. They've only given them a stepmotherly treatment. They've never considered them as a part and parcel of Pakistan, and that is the reason the people of the Gilgit-Baltistan area is quite disturbed with the fact that they are not being taken care of. And other thing is that religious hardlineship which is there. In fact, if you see this in Gilgit-Baltistan side, major population is Shia. And in Pakistan, we know that except probably Sunni, rest everybody is considered as a second-rate citizen. Whether it is a Shia, whether it is Ahmadiyas, or whether it is a Hindus, Christians, Sikhs, nobody else probably is considered to have a proper right of living. And one can just see that whether it is a Muharram procession in the Gilgit-Baltistan, which has again created a problem there, and lodging a case against their leader, Mr. Sayyid Bakir al-Hussaini, who has been accused of insulting the Prophet, is yet another example of high-handedness by the government and religious hardliners. So I would say that the Gilgit-Baltistan people have realized, not now, but for many years, and that's why a number of cases of atrocities of them have been reported in the past also. And that is the reason probably they are looking at India, they are looking at the Kashmir people in India, that how they are being treated equally, the kind of opportunities they have, and the openness which India is having, the kind number of tourists which are visiting Kashmir. It is all now being witnessed by them. They know it. And it is very soon the kind of revolt, the kind of opposition which is coming up. I'm very sure that they themselves are looking forward to joining India. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Major General Soi, for joining us here with your thoughts on this. Of course, as you can see, viewers, it's a massive protest that's broken out against the Pakistani government, and the Pakistani army, the ISI, have always pitted communities against each other, and especially in the Gilgit-Baltistan region, to keep India at bay. But here we have the consequences of that, and now we, of course, are seeing the people of the Gilgit-Baltistan region are realizing now what's been really happening. But thank you so much right now, Shravan and Major General Soi. We will be stepping to a very short break right now, but on the